Who needs Tucker Carlson when you have Greg Kelly?
All I can say is that the fake news just doesn't get it, do that. You know what the hardest part of that, for me, is the hands. He does like 16 things with the hands. It's very interesting. All right, folks. Joe Biden promised he was going to restore norms. Remember, everything would be back to normal with Joe Biden. Hey, let's face it, Donald Trump was an extraordinary president, different in a lot of ways. Everything was supposed to go back to normal. One of the norms in the Beltway, you're not supposed to really criticize your predecessor, especially early on. Joe, well, violating his promise, he's not following norms.
Predecessor, be very blunt about it, did not do his job in getting ready for the massive challenge of vaccinating hundreds of millions of Americans. He didn't order enough vaccines. He didn't mobilize enough people to administer the shots. He didn't set up a federal vaccine centers where eligible people could go and get their shots. When I became president 3 weeks ago, America had no plan to vaccinate most of the country. It was a big mess.
He didn't do this, he didn't do that. You know what he did? He came up with the vaccine. Operation Warp Speed was a real thing. I think Joe Biden, actually, he probably forgot, gave him credit for that at one point. Yeah, he came up with the vaccine itself. He's following a playbook that's supposed to be beneath him. Trash everything that happened before you got there. I've seen it happen in local politics, but it's such a shame, Joe, that you're not restoring those precious norms. All right, here's something. You ever see those fact-checking websites, those services? Most of them are corrupt. Most of them are bogus. And one of them is coming after me lately. PolitiFact says that Newsmax host, me, recycles out-of-context clip and call for Joe Biden's impeachment. I wasn't actually calling for Joe Biden's impeachment, but I did play this clip. You tell me if it's funny business or not. He said this, and then we'll go into a bit more detail.
We have put together, I think, the most extensive and inclusive voter fraud organization in the history of American politics.
Wow, that's something. He said it out loud, and a lot of us have grave suspicions about their organization. Joe Biden, hey, Time Magazine confirmed a lot of our suspicions. PolitiFact, the fact-checking website, when we played this, said, while Joe Biden used the words voter fraud organization, he was describing a project to help people learn more. The full context makes it clear that Biden was not encouraging widespread voter fraud or claiming that Democrats were guilty of it. Actually, the full context, it gets even more suspicious. Nobody actually looked at what he said next, including them. You tell me. Watch.
What the president is trying to do is discourage people from voting by implying that their vote won't be counted, it can't be counted, we're going to challenge it, and all these things. If enough people vote, it's going to overwhelm the system. You see what's happening now. You guys know it as well as I do.
Did you catch that? We're going to overwhelm the system. Mail-in voting, controversial. I don't know. Overwhelming any system doesn't necessarily sound like a good thing. Something else he said that was pretty odd.
You can own the election. You can own the outcome. It really, 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 really matters.
Own the election? I mean, win the election, great. But he's going to somehow own the election. Own the election. I've got concerns. It actually makes me even more.
I have concerns too.
Voter
Greg Kelly,
ever.
number one.
Kind of add credibility to